Yes, darlings, welcome back to Cocktails with Queens. Tonight, we are joined by the host of Fox Soul's newest show, Inside the Black Box. Before we bring them out, let's take a look at season 2 of this award-winning series.
I'm Tracy Moore.
And I'm Joe Morton, and welcome to Inside the Black Box.
An honest discussion with the icons of today about our role in the arts.
I love the energy in here.
My goal as an artist is to tell the stories that matter.
Everybody gives you a brick. You choose which ones to build your house with.
And there's no shame in asking for what you truly desire.
I ain't telling y'all nothing.
We set the tone. We are the culture. We are what people want to cross over to.
Please welcome. Yes, absolutely fabulous. Please welcome Emmy Award-winning actor Joe Morton and world-renowned casting director and fabulous acting coach Tracy Moore.
Yay!
Welcome.
Hello.
That show looks like the bomb. That show is off the chain.
Joe and Tracy, thank you so much for being here. How are y'all feeling tonight? And welcome to Fox Soul.
Thank you. Feeling good.
I'm just going to jump right in because I just want to say I'm a fan. And this type of show is needed because a lot of people see people on different levels and don't understand why they're on that level and how much work they put in and how the growth spurt happens. So I just want to say congratulations about that. Now you've been killing the game, Joe, for a very long time. I know as a fellow actress myself, I was like, how in the heck is he remembering all those lines? Like you have monologues. And I always watch and say, he had to do that again, I'm sure. He had to do that in the master, he had to do that in the close-up, and people don't really realize that, but I know that was not so easy. So what I'd like to say is you have been killing it in Scandal, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, what else? Brother from Another Planet.
Okay.
What's the key? Mm-hmm. What is the key to staying consistent in the business without losing sight of your worth?
I mean, I think you have to make choices. As an actor, you're taught that as you're approaching a character, that you should make choices about the character. And I think as an actor, you need to make choices about your career. What kinds of things do you want to do? I mean, a lot of actors, when they walk out into the world, they just take anything that comes their way because they're just looking for a job. I mean, I was kind of taught that, read the script and decide what it is you think you can contribute to this story. And if it's a story that you don't want to tell, then don't do it. And I think that's what keeps actors alive, is making choices that actually produce a path.
Wow.
Tracy, in the beginning stages of your career, you moved to New York with $200, a trunk, and a one-way ticket from San Francisco. Like, that is some bold, that's you got some boldness and some faith, and I love it. I had 500. I thought I was doing something. All right, what inspired you to take that big leap to the Big Apple with that?
Well, at a very young age, I think when I was 6 years old, I think now looking back, I defined my life. I said, I want to move to New York. I want 4 seasons. I grew up in earthquakes. And so I wanted, winter, spring, and fog. I grew up in fog. But it was faith. I have to honestly say it was faith because I wasn't fearful of coming to New York until someone brought it to my attention. So on the plane, I kept just reciting my mantra, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And then it wasn't until I moved to Harlem in 1983 that, people would say, aren't you scared? They rob people in New York. And I was like, well, I don't wear jewelry. I don't have any diamonds, so I think I'm good. I just believed in my dream and I didn't see no, and I didn't see impossible. I'm an Aries. I just reacted.
Me too. What's your birthday?
March 30th.
Happy birthday. Well, it's 10 days. Okay,
yes.
Aries lady. Okay.
Yes.
Queen.
Thank you.
Tracy, because of this leap of faith, your eye of talent has helped launch the careers of actors such as Mike Epps, Kerry Washington, Dave Chappelle, Notori Naughton, and so many more. How does it feel to have played such a pivotal role in the evolution of these superstars?
Well, I feel what's pivotal for me is the fact that I knew their names before anyone else did. And I always say to actors, you just need one person to believe in you. And I also believed in them. And so, I love when Malik Yopus, he came to my class one time and he said, I woke up one morning and everybody knew my name. you know and so that's sort of like, and God rest his soul, Charlie Murphy was one of my clients, and Charlie said too, he was like, Tracy, I live for the day where people say my name, Charlie Murphy, Charlie Murphy, right? And so I think that just instinctually I wasn't taught to be a casting director. I think instinctually I just believe that it's undeniable when it's talent. It's undeniable. It takes your breath away. Your hair stands up, and so I think that's what really carried me, was my faith and my belief in these talented people, auditioning. One thing I can say is that when we call you more than once as a casting director, we're looking to employ you. We want you to get a job. And the other thing is we have casting director friends, so we talk about you. And that's how your name circulates. So very early in my career, I talked about Mike Epps when I saw him in this Boston Comedy Club in New York City, And so as a community with other casting directors, we supported, their careers and sort of just, passed them along, like just hoping somebody would cast them and, they would get a jump start.
That's why I always tell actors, like, when you show up, do a great job, because even though you may not get that job, they will remember you and refer you for something else. Now let's switch gears for a second. You two are creating a safe place for Black actors on your new show, Inside the Black Box. Why is this show important for our culture to see?
Well, history is important to any culture, because if you know where you have been and where you're trying to go, it's an easier sort of path to get there. And so that's kind of what we're doing with this show. Is on one level, the guests that come on the show are not talking about their latest project or their latest book or their latest TV show or movie. What they're talking about is actually what their careers were like as artists of color coming up through the ranks, because our sort of journey is very different than our white counterparts. And so that's history. That's history right there. That says, this is what I went through. And a lot of actors who are sitting in the audience are now shaking their heads thinking, oh, well, he went through or she went through the same sort of thing that I did, which means we all go through similar things, not the same thing. Everybody's story is different. But to understand you're not alone, I think, is really important.
And I also think, too, that we talk among ourselves. Culturally, we talk in the barbershop or we talk in the beauty salon. And so we know the challenges and the obstacles and hurdles in this entertainment business. We live it. We wanted to expand that conversation and bring awareness to that conversation so that we can focus on solutions, get workable budgets, have people in green light positions, and more of our voices telling our stories. And so and then also I say to Joe, we're incubating new talent. So we're giving them a platform to perform and be seen as well.
I mean, Vivica, you were on Soul Train at some point, as I believe. And we want to do sort of the same sort of thing. So on Soul Train, what was great about that was you kind of got to know some of the dancers and you expected to see them. You wanted to see them again and again. And that's kind of what we're doing with some of the actors on our show, the folks who are in the audience who are doing the improvs, who are doing the exercises that we put out for them, is they are in this case our dancers, as you were on Soul Train.
Joe, I gotta ask you, how was Vivica's dancing? And do you have any footage of this? I need the footage for the show, please.
Yeah, you know what? I'll look. I'll see if I can find it.
I can remember, I had this gray dress and was shimmying down the whole nine. And I will tell you, it led to Don Cornelius letting me host the Soul Train Awards.
Wow.
You never know where one thing may lead to the next. And I hope that you all let your actors know that
no, absolutely. We want them to come back, and we want them to be, inside the black box actors, just like you're a Soul Train dancer.
Okay. And also, when you realize that you've done a job and you may have read for one role, they may see you in another role and have you read for that. So you still have to be prepared as well.
That's right.
Not that,
That's
but
right.
just, as an actor, yeah. Yeah.
And I actually had an experience with Lisa Ray because I cast the Source Award show that you co-host with Tretch back in the day.
Okay.
Yes. Right. And I was so nervous, but that nervous energy is what actually helped me, because you do have to rise to the occasion and say, well, you know what, they picked me, and they picked me for a reason. So you have to go off of that
right. Because you were already cast.
Yeah.
See, this whole thing right here, this going on with Vivica Lisa. Listen, this is a whole episode right here. We can just take this and just throw it down to the episode. But just switching gears a little bit. I mean, because this is if you are an aspiring actor, this right here is so much meat. I mean, with just all the amazing people. But Joanne Tracy, in a recent interview with Variety, actor Jaman Hansu. So I always get his name sometime, but he was talking about how he's still struggling and trying to make $1. And I'm like, the Amistad man is terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, and I have seen him do so many amazing roles. I mean, he was just in Shazam, and that's a blockbuster. So Rob Morton mentioned on your show that there's no shame asking for what you truly desire. So are you surprised that Black actors are still underpaid in this business? And do you think there's hesitancy in asking for what we deserve?
One, there should never be any hesitancy in asking for what you deserve. Rob rather said that because he had just asked me to be his mentor. And so the audience kind of started to laugh, and he said, no, you should understand. You need to ask for what the thing, the worst that's going to happen is the person's going to say no. That's the worst thing that's going to happen. You know what I mean? And in terms of underpaid, do you think women are still underpaid in this business?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's sort of the same game. The thing I keep saying on the show and with actors is that, if you're a white man and you own a movie studio and you want to do a movie, the movie's going to be about and around and with the kinds of people that you know. So the kinds of things that people like Tyler Perry are doing by building their own studio and actually inviting people in, inviting people of color in to sort of dream the dream. I mean, Tracy always says, that what we do on the show is inspire dreams. And I think that's the idea, is we need to be in a position so that we are making our own stories and therefore paying each other the way we need to be paid. But as long as we're out there asking somebody, how much should we get? And we are not Denzel Washington or Morgan Freeman, then, you have to fight for it. You have to actually say, no, this is what I'm worth. This is how it goes. And if you don't, then, it's your own fault.
So, and I think you do it unapologetically too. Unapologetically.
Yes, absolutely.
Like you can't, this is a fight. We're in 2023 and we're still fighting. And so we have to eliminate the fear and ask for what's rightfully ours. And so I feel like there's a part of Joe and I that, we arm ourselves, when we go out, and it's not, being protective of the audience or anyone, in that environment. It's just knowing that you need stamina to be on this fight, that it's not, these shows are moving, I believe, in the direction of change, because we have to have the awareness, then the conversation. And so I feel like that's the part that Joe and I are doing with the show.
Well,
to instruct actors that includes your agent, right? That agent works for you, not the other way around. So that in thinking about and asking for the kinds of things that you want, it's that agent is sort of, that's the doorway. Yeah. So, when a young actor goes after an agent, I always say to them, don't allow the agent to tell you what you want. You go in trying to discover, because it is a journey and it is a discovery, what it is you want. What kind of career are you looking for? And you're the only one who can answer those questions.
I'm glad we have people like you two that are fighting for us and championing for us. I have a friend that's a casting director, and she says it's very frustrating when she deals with certain networks that don't employ a lot of people of color. And she hates that she has to go to an actor and ask them and lowball them, basically, because that's what she's limited to offer. And she's like, it really angers me because I know what they offer the white counterparts, that are on an equal level. And that is so frustrating. And it's like, there's so much more that we have to work on and get there. It's not us. A lot of it's the powers that be. And like Tyler Perry, shout out to him because he's making his own moves. I will say this in the chat, Chichi Onua says, as an actor, I am living for this conversation. So there's people that are in the chat that are living for what the wisdom you two are giving. So thank you so much, Tracy and Joe. Before you go, you dropped so many gems. What advice could you give aspiring actors in Hollywood?
First thing I would say is train. You have to go someplace, you have to train. Second thing I would say is, and I said this to my son who wanted to be an actor, then you have to do theater. You have to do theater before you do TV or film. Because if you can do theater, you can play a part, let's say for 6 months, 8 shows a week, blah, 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 blah. If you can do that and do it by keeping that character fresh, performance after performance, and you can do anything.
Thank you.
I would say as a casting director, we're looking for people who have work ethic. That's what we're looking for, and standards. So we're looking for people that not only do we look at your talent, but we want to make sure that you show up on time, that you respect the work, that you do the work. And I would also say that the thing that kills dreams are the noise. And the noise could be our family and our closest friends. And we have to blow sprinkle dust and bless them and then just stay focused on your dream, because it took 18 years to get here. And I'm really blessed to have the last 6 years, Joe came on board and he's still on board. And sometimes I ask him why he's still here. But I know his love and I know that we have purpose. So that's what we do.
And here's the thing, I think it makes a big difference too when you hear from people like you and that are in front of the scenes and behind the scenes, because you get another perspective. Because I had an opportunity one time real quick to be involved in casting, and I got a chance to see me on the other side, like, that's me if I come in nervous. Oh, that's me if I'm not really prepared. Oh, that's me if I don't really care about the role. And that's me when I came in prepared. And it put things in perspective. So thank you guys. Really, for having the faith that you have to bring us what you're bringing us, because we, and whatever level that you are at A, B, C, or D, it's needed. So thank you.
Thank you. And Joe, we appreciate you both coming here. Make sure you catch Inside the Black Box tomorrow. That's 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox Soul, because we got your back. All right, y'all, coming up next. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I still can't believe that Joe knew I was a Soul Train dancer. Coming up next, we have Queendom. And later in the show, Black China removes face fillers. Stay tuned.